Problem is, if you still remember what we learned 4 weeks ago in Shir Hashirim about what's higher, mitzvahs or learning Torah, went into the whole discussion. Is it the skull or the brain?
What was the answer?
Both.
We still don't have an answer.
So I listened.
You see that? Yeah.
But you don't come here to get answers.
So we have a little problem. So we said Torah has in it a little good ma'ala, a great value, because it's in your brain. It's like, it's not the skull, but it's inside. But then the mitzvah is like the skull, which is higher than the brain.
Correct.
That's what we spoke about. Okay, so basically when you do a mitzvah like tefillin, you're doing God's will. When you learn Torah, you're connected to God's wisdom. So our conclusion was Torah is more internal, like more inside you, but it's a lower level. Mitzvahs is higher, but it's makif. It's like it surrounds you. It's not in you.
But the sole purpose.
So would you rather have smaller in or higher surrounding?
Smaller in.
So that's Torah.
No, that's a
Yeah, but we said that you can't live without the mitzvot. The Torah can't survive.
So you need both. Yeah. Oh. So it's,
Torah, Torah.
yeah, Mazon is Torah and Levushim is mitzvot. Yeah.
It was a preference.
Yeah, that's right. You need to have mitzvot.
So it's both.
But, so what does that mean? That means that Torah comes from the wisdom of Hashem. That means the brain of God. But if you look in the Torah, it says, Umi Midbar Matana. What is Umi Midbar Matana? That Hashem gave us the Torah in the Midbar. But it doesn't say that. It doesn't say He gave it to us in the desert. It says, Umi Midbar Matana. That the Torah comes from the desert. You get the difference? In Hebrew, I could say, Ubamidbar matana. We got the Torah in the desert. The Midbar Sinai.
Yeah.
In the Torah, it says, Umi Midbar. From the desert, matana, that's where the Torah comes from. What does that mean?
You're going to tell us now.
So I want to tell you something you wouldn't believe. We learned this, I think, in Shir Hashirim, remember? Which is a higher mitzvah, the prohibition or the positive? Meaning, I'll give you an example. Let's say putting on tefillin, lighting Shabbos candles, or holding yourself in from doing something you shouldn't do. Like, don't eat what you shouldn't eat.
I think the second one is
What you call it.
to hold yourself. Yeah,
But remember, we
I think
talked
when you
about
hold yourself-
breaking your will, like a baseball glove. You have to like break.
That's the not do it.
Right.
Oh. So why is that? The reason
to gossip is very hard.
very difficult, especially about your friend. You
When
know,
it's juicy.
and it's a good one. It's a real good gossip. So to hold yourself in, not to say, the Torah says you reach a higher level. Why? Because when you do a proactive, it's you doing it. It's like you're involved. You have to put on the tefillin. You have to give the tzedakah. You have to light the candle. You know, when you do a thing opposite of your nature, it's basically you're getting out of the picture. You're out of here. Meaning you're totally nullified. It's all about Hashem. I don't exist. I don't care what I want. I know I want sushi, but I'm not going to eat it. It's not kosher. I'm just giving an example. So it's basically going, it's going against me. You understand? So then I reach a higher level. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So now let's take an interesting thing. When you say a desert or like a sadeh is a field. What's the difference between a sadeh and a midbar?
Midbar is wild. Sadeh is somebody worked on it and made it nice and.
So
Midbar is no.
The one there's life, and the other one there's.
So you know.
But it's very difficult.
No, so this is the word. The words the Torah used to describe midbar. It says Eretz loy zerua. The land that's not
Seeded.
There's nothing there.
Yeah.
Not
Like it's dead. So really, when we think about a desert, we think about it, it's like a negative thing. It's not a positive thing. It's loy zerua. Loy means there's nothing planted in it. A sadeh is nizra. A sadeh is where you plant, you put seeds, you put vegetables. Okay? So normally, we always think of a desert is where loy zerua. There's one more expression the Torah says, loy yoshav adam ba. A person does not live in a desert. I mean, it's not. There are Mishugoyim that live there, but it's not. It's not a settlement.
Yeah.
It's not where people live.
It's not a place you should like.
Huh?
It's not a place to settle. Like.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a settlement place. So the Torah says two things. Midbar, to explain a midbar, eretz lo zerua, and loy yoshav adam sham. A person does not settle there. Okay? So that means the midbar has two negatives. It's, you don't plant there, and it's not where a person lives there. Okay? That's how we learn it. Comes the Alter Rebbe in Shir Hashirim, and he says, 1 second. No. Lo yoshav adam sham, the reason the desert, people don't live there, it's not because it's the negative. It's such a high level. Listen to this. You're going to plot from this one. It's such a high level that you can't live there. It's too much. It's so infinite godliness. What level is that?
How?
I'll tell you. It's like the crown above the head. We're going to get. It's the same idea. Listen to this. When you speak about Adam, a person starts from here, from his head, going all the way down. He's Chachma bin Adas. He has the wisdom, understanding, knowledge. He has the emotional. He has the action. He has the thought. He has the speech. That makes you an Adam. So a person is like it's like the picture we have here of the 10 Sfirot. This makes a person. He has wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. Kindness, that's who you are. That's Adam. Lo Adam, that a person doesn't live here because a midbar reaches a level that's above Adam. So the Adam, this can't live there because it's something that comes from above it. Why? Because the only way you could reach something above it is when you don't exist. You remember we say when you say I don't want to eat, I'm not going to speak gossip, I'm not going to do this, you reach higher. So the same thing, the midbar, the reason Adam is not there is because since there's nothing there, that's why you could reach a much higher level that's above Adam. It's above this. That's the crown of Hashem. So when Hashem says, Mi midbar matana, what does it mean, midbar matana? That the Torah comes from which level? Above Adam. Because a midbar is where people don't live. A midbar is where you don't plant. So when I say to you that the Torah comes from a midbar, it means it's coming from a place that's above Adam, above wisdom. The crown of Hashem. It's called the ayin. Me'ayin yavayezi. What's the ayin? The ayin is this, where everything comes from. The nothing. The ayin, or the aleph, is where everything comes from. So the Torah doesn't come from God's wisdom. It comes from midbar, which is above God's wisdom. You understand what I just said? Or no?
Above God's wisdom.
Chachma is God's wisdom, and the Torah comes from the midbar, which is above Adam. Adam starts here. Adam starts right here. This is above Adam. This is the crown. This is the skull. This is the skull and the crown. Here's where the Adam starts. This is above Adam. Midbar, matana, means the Torah comes from Keter, which is the desert that has it's above Adam, that's why there's nothing there. It's like the not is what gets you higher than the yes.
Well, I don't understand how the skull is more important than the brain. Because you're saying it's higher, right? It's higher. Yes, it is higher. But the whole purpose of the skull is to protect the brain.
Okay. Okay, so the whole purpose of mitzvahs is to protect the Torah. Yeah, you're right. If you don't do mitzvahs, you don't do the Torah. I understand what you're asking. You're asking. The idea is, according to Kabbalah, the fact that your skull is above your brain. That's how it happened to be.
It is.
I agree with you, it's protecting your brain. But why did God make that your skull is above your brain? So according to Kabbalah, that means it comes from a higher level than the brain.
Okay. So I can tell you in that way, hair is higher than the skull.
Oh, that's exactly. So we're going to get to that not here, but in other Maimonim, why does hair grow on the head? Why doesn't hair grow, okay, and your hand also grows, but hair grows on the head because the head is such a high level. The hair represents a minuteness of the higher level than the, like when I cut hair, I don't feel pain.
Right.
But if I cut my finger, I feel pain.
Unless you shimshon and you go, then.
Either way, it's still hurt.
Talk about the hair.
Okay, but I'm just saying it still hurts. Why? The finger is lower than the head. This counts in your brain. The hair counts in your brain, and the finger is a piece of your hand, not a piece of your brain. Your brain is more sensitive than your hand. Your hand is not such a. I'm not saying you shouldn't have a hand, but if someone is missing one finger, God forbid, he still could function. But if he's missing a brain, it's not such an easy way to function without the brain. So the point here is the hair, even though it's coming out and it has no pain, but it's called the solet of the moach. It's like the extra that the moach can't handle comes out through the hair. So yes, I know hair we throw out, hair means nothing, but when you have like a nazir, but hair is holy, you're not allowed to cut his hair, like Shir Hashirim, because it's really a very high level. So I don't want to get into that concept because we're going to get too confusing. But the point here is your skull is higher because it comes from a higher source, but we don't see it. When you look at a skull, it looks like just a bone. The same thing on mitzvah. If you don't know what the mitzvah really means, if you look at a pair of tefillin, it looks like a piece of bone. What is this? It's like I remember I once went with someone to the Kotel in Israel. He says, I don't know, why are you so emotional? I said, what do you mean this is? He says, it's just stones. You understand what I'm saying? Because it's so materialistic that if you don't know what's behind it, it's just a stone.
But it's still a mitzvah.
Oh, so a mitzvah, exactly.
Still doing the mitzvah.
So that's the idea. Mitzvah, on a mitzvah itself, if you just touch the mitzvah, you touch the matzah, you touch the mezuzah, it is nothing that you feel holy there. You know it's holy because you learned in Torah and mitzvahs that everything is holy, but you don't see it. But when you learn Torah with your brain, you feel it. So that's the difference. The skull is higher, but you don't see anything. It's like just a bone, but it really comes from a higher level. The Torah is a lower level, but it goes into your brain. So you feel it, you're excited. And your heart, yeah, of course. So you understand the issue here now? What we have the issue now? Mm-hmm. We're saying that Torah is your brain, and in the pasuk it says, Midbar Matana. What does Midbar Matana mean? The Torah comes above your brain. If the Torah is your brain, how could it come from above your brain? Midbar means the desert. What does a desert mean? That it's above Adam. It's the level of Keter, which is above Adam. So does the Torah come from God's wisdom or does it come from God's crown? Torah, not the mitzvah.
Torah for the one
from here.
Yeah.
But in here it says Midbar Matana. What does Midbar mean? A desert where there's no Adam because it comes from above Adam. So it's a conflict because we always said Torah comes from Chachma, and now we're saying it comes from Midbar, which is above Adam, which is the crown. So it's a little contradiction. Mm-hmm. You understand the contradiction here? So that's what the Maimon is going to explain. So, in other words,
he said that Midbar is higher because you gotta be more humble.
in order, the reason midbar, the people don't live in a midbar, is because there's nothing there.
Right.
And since there's nothing there, it's not where people settle. So Kabbalah says that means that midbar reaches a much higher level, because when you're nothing, you can reach the crown of God.
That's what I mean, humble. That's what
Yeah, that you don't exist.
Right.
Like the ones that don't.
No ego.
No ego. I'm not going to speak gossip. I'm not going to speak Lashon Hara.
Like we spoke that the animal are actually from a higher source.
Yeah, exactly. So the desert, so we have a little confliction. Till now we spoke Torah is your brain. And now we're saying Torah is the desert, which is above the brain.
Mm-hmm.
So is it from the brain or is it from the desert, which is above the brain? You understand the question? Yeah. So let's read inside. V'zeo inyan u'memidbar batana u'mavor l'mayla, page 128, like 7 lines on the top, Daled. U'mavor l'mayla inyan k'agam kizoy satera adam. Even though we said till now that wow, Torah is Adam, why Torah ebchinas Adam? Why the Iraisa mechachma nafkas? Where does Torah come from? Chachma, God's wisdom. We said till now, but mikol malkaim. Does everyone have the same page or no? Mikol malkaim harein ebchinas yitzis mehelam al gilui. Aval shar shavi yisaydasa ha'elyain shemamenu lukacha u'memidbar matana midbar ubchinas elyaina l'mayla ubchinas adam. Midbar is above the level of Adam, and that Torah's root comes from above Adam. Ki b'midbar ksiv asher loy avad ba'ish v'loy yoshav Adam Sham. Why? So what he's saying is very simple. I agree with you that Torah is wisdom. But that's how the Torah already came down to the level of wisdom. But if you want to know the shoresh, the root where Torah comes from, it comes from the above, the midbar, which is the keter. Yes, Torah came into wisdom. And that's why the whole Torah is full of wisdom, of Hashem. But the root, where it originates, it comes from Loy Adam, the midbar, which is above Adam. So basically, Torah comes from above Adam, and mitzvahs come from above Adam. So then now what is higher, Torah or mitzvahs?
According to you, scholars.
But Torah also comes from there.
Think about it, Rav. When we live this world, the moach and the Torah and the mitzvahs go with us, and what stays?
What stays? Everything else, the body.
The bones. The body desecrates, the bones stay with it, until Mashiach comes to resurrect you.
So basically, he wants us to say the answer is simple. Torah is God's wisdom, but the shoresh means the root, where Torah originates from, is from God's crown, which is the midbar, which is above Adam.
Okay.
That answers all the questions till now? The only problem is, so then what's higher? Torah or mitzvahs? Because till the last few weeks we were talking about mitzvahs is higher, because it's from the crown. Torah is lower because it's from the brain. And the brain is lower than the crown. Now we're saying that the root where Torah originates from is also the crown. Midbar. Which midbar is where there's no Adam. It's above Adam. So if Torah originates from the same place of mitzvahs, so then what's higher, Torah or mitzvahs?
So is it fair to say that one cannot live without the other?
For sure. That we know that. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but we want to know, like if you have a chance to learn Torah
What's more important?
or do a mitzvah, what should you focus on? Remember, because we didn't know, let's say you have 10 minutes. He has lunch for 10 minutes. So he wants to know, if in those 10 minutes, should he learn Torah? Or should he do a mitzvah?
Learn Torah, unless if there is a need for a mitzvah
that no one else can do. Yeah, that's the halacha. Why? Because Torah is higher. Yeah, that's what we learned till now. That if the mitzvah can be done,
but if it can be done by other, you do the mitzvah.
then if there's no one else, then you do the mitzvah.
Yeah.
The problem is that there's a lot of mitzvahs that can't be done by other. That's the problem. So that's you don't have time to learn. It's like, it's like when the house is burning, and they need to put out the fire. You got to put it out. You can't say, well, I'll let someone else do it because I'm busy learning Torah. You can't be busy learning Torah if there's a fire burning.
I'll tell you halakha that I learned that's doing the same thing. Let's say the rabbi is learning Torah. Now we have minyan. We know when it's daven. Can I bother him to do a minyan? The answer is no.
If he's the 10th or not the 10th?
We can wait for maybe somebody else will come a few minutes and we can have a
But
take.
then you might miss the minute.
But
No, we're here. We are 9 people here waiting for me.
May miss the
You
time.
cannot, what I learned, you cannot bother him to learn Torah. But if it's a Netz minyan and you're missing your time, you need to bother him to learn.
Okay, have some salsa.
No, when you did the
Remember that? Yeah, you remember that or no?
Remember,
Yeah.
when you open the minyan next to the hotel and the 2 kids, no, the 3.
Yeah. Something like that.
If you open the Shulchan Aruch, everything you do is a mitzvah.
זה זמן שאם אתה לא מתפלל אתה עושה
Even
טוב.
if you think about I'm eating, it's a mitzvah. You need to bless, you need to do. So
Thank you.
it's not a question if this is important. You can make everything to be a mitzvah, right?
But
If
not
you want.
together sometimes.
Means if you go by the law, every move that you do during the day
Can be a mitzvah. You could make it into
Yeah,
a
that's
mitzvah.
what I'm saying.
Okay.
You go,
So-
you can pray. You go, you can listen to.
You eat,
You pray, you bless.
So I'll tell you an interesting story that I heard 2 days ago. One Rosh Hashanah, the first day of Rosh Hashanah, after Ma'ariv, the night of Rosh Hashanah, the Rebbe came home, made Kiddush, and then after this meal, the Rebbe stood, he had like a stender, like a amud, that's how you call it in Hebrew, where you put your prayer book and stender.
Understand?
And
The one
he,
that Norman.
and you everyone. So he put a sefer, and he stood there from, let's say, it was like 8 in the evening till like 8 in the morning in one place like this.
Wow.
The Rebbetzin gets up in the morning and sees the Rebbe still standing in like deep thought, like in one position for 12 hours. And knows that shul is soon starting, and the Rebbe blows the shul. I mean, this is like a serious Rosh Hashanah, the Rosh Hashanah by the. But she didn't want to bother the Rebbe. If the Rebbe is in such deep concentration thought of 12 hours, and he's like doesn't know what's going on.
Are you sure she's a wife?
Huh?
Are you sure she's a wife?
Anyways,
Doesn't want to-
the kid says she realizes it's already time, so she just said these words. Shishain tog means it's already morning, it's already day.
Yeah, it's like in the Haggadah.
Yes, Shishain tog. It's already. The Rebbe opens his eyes. Shishain tog? It's already day? Because he started at 8.
He didn't
He didn't even know what was going on. Okay, right away, got ready, and
Was he in like a...
that's called deep concentration.
Coma? Like, like it was in a kind of like in a coma?
But a
Like,
concentration,
sleeping, you didn't know where...
not sleeping. Very deep thought, thinking.
Maybe he was in a
Yeah.
hearing all the.
I'm just giving you this called learning. When I say learning, that you could. I'm telling you, I remember when in yeshiva we used to learn Torah, Talmud. We Pasha didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
You get so into the learning that your brain gets so into the Torah that you just forget that there's time, and you don't even know a person is walking by you. You had no idea. That's what we mean here, learning. You understand that your brain gets really deep in it.
It's caught up.
Now, we don't have maybe the ability to do 12 hours, but 10 minutes, a half hour. That means when we do learn, to be so brain in it. That's the moach. That's the chachma. That's putting your whole essence in it. That's a high level. But then the mitzvah, we got to stop learning to put on tefillin. You can't say, I'm busy learning, I'm not putting on tefillin today. You can't say, I'm busy learning, I'm not going to daven today. We're not on that level of Rav Shimon Bar Yochai. You get the idea or no? Okay.
So she was right in stopping them.
She just says Shir Hashirim tog.
Stopped him. But what if she came to him before it's time to sleep and say it's time to sleep? You think he would wake up and
The Rebbe, she would never tell the Rebbe to go to sleep. Because that's not, a woman doesn't tell the husband. You don't say. First of all, Rosh Hashanah night, the Rebbe never slept. They don't,
so
on Rosh
so
Hashanah.
strange that for her.
But to stand in such deep concentration in one position, standing, not sitting.
Who told the story? Her?
What happened was, the Rebbe came late to shul. So one of the Hasidim went to the Rebbetzin and asked, could you just tell what happened? Like something, did any emergency happen? The Rebbe's not feeling good? Just tell me. So she said, I'll tell you the truth. 8 o'clock, I told the whole story. And the Rebbe was just so deep, I didn't know what to do. And then I said, I better say, it's already morning. So at least, and that, the Rebbe, and that got, so the Rebbe came, but, got it? So now he says, let's just read another 2 paragraphs. Ozohar b'shem ha'arizal. There's a Zohar called Harakia b'shem ha'arizal. He writes in the name of Arizal. I'm just going to read the words and then I'll explain. Do you see it? Pirush Adam hu bezah. When you say Adam, a man, it's Zah and not Arichampin. V'af bezah. Any nikra Adam ela me'achoytem ve'elach k'mesher kasu be'ider rabba ad kan l'shenei keloi Adam. Do you understand what he just said here?
Of course.
So look at your face. You're from. Oh, it's interesting. I didn't know, but from where your nose starts, right here, is really where your whole image starts. Because here, it's called metzach. Metzach is the forehead. The forehead has there's nothing to it.
Okay.
There's nothing there. What's on the forehead? It's just a bone. But when you go from here downwards, that's where you have the eyes, the nose, the mouth, the ears. See, look. Mm-hmm. That means the whole metzach is just a bone. So what's higher? This? Or the eyes, the ears, the nose, the mouth? You understand what I'm trying to say? Mm-hmm. Now there is a strange expression that people say when someone's like stubborn. Azut metzach. What is it called?
Azut metzach.
Azut metzach they use?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, how do you translate azut?
Wow.
Az kanameh.
No, like chutzpah.
What, chutzpah?
Chutzpah, yeah.
You ever heard azut metzach?
Yeah, it's a very.
No, but
chutzpah in higher.
Yeah, I'm saying about azut kedusha. So how do you do that?
it's not chutzpah.
No.
But how would you say when I want to say like I'm stubborn, like a metzach, like the azut metzach? Okay, but I'm saying in a good way. So
stubborn. It's more like chutzpah.
yeah.
Yeah, stubborn is different because azut metzach you say when you want to describe somebody that did something that is it's a shame. How can you do this? You know what I'm saying? So I don't know, like stealing from you where you are sitting and you see him. Azut metzach.
That means like a chutzpah, that he does it right in front of him.
Different level, like more.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So he says.
Audacity.
Oh, so when what he's doing here, he's just explaining.
GPT.
Oh, you went to GPT?
Yeah, I think that's
Unbelievable. Wow. It's just the hine hishtalshelus es sfiris datzilos. By the way, let's do it a little bit easier. These 10 sfirot right here, Chachma, Bina, Das, the 10 sfirot.
Yeah.
That's called Adam. And he says, look, Gimel, Chacham Yimin, Vagab Mismol, Dati Be'emsa, which is, look, Chachma, Chesed, Netzach is on the right, Bina, Gavura, Hod on the left, and Dalet, Da'at, that's what's called right, left, center. That's the Adam, that's the make of a person. The same thing when we speak about in the spiritual world Adam, the Adam of Atzilut, the Adam of Bria, What kind of human is there in Bria? It means this. This is the Adam. In Atzilut you have this. In Bria you have this. In Yetzirah you have this. This is the Adam. It's like you say, Adam she'al hakisei. The Adam that's on the throne of God. Which Adam is it? This, the Chachma, all this 10 Sfirot.
That's Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov right there.
Avraham, Yitzchak, and Yaakov is the center.
Tiferet.
Yeah, Tiferet. Moshe also, same thing, all of them. So he says, so this, all of this is Adam. But then, Keter, Hulamaila, this, the crown that's above Adam, which is Adayin above is Chalkos v'lav mikol inim midis klal kiloi Adam huli inachem. This is a very interesting thing. Here, look, we have 10 different things here. Chachma, Bina, Das, all of this. But you know, in Keter, all of this is included in Keter, but it's not divided. In Keter, you have all of this in a potential. It's an interesting thing when David HaMelech, you remember the story with Shaul and David or no?
Yeah.
Shaul was picked by God to be the king. And he didn't listen, he didn't do his job. He didn't kill, so Shmuel said, Hashem,
You're done.
Hashem regretted, and he gave your kingdom to your David HaMelech. So, okay, so then Shaul says to Shmuel, can't I do tshuva and can't Hashem change his mind? So listen to what he answers to him. Ki loy adam hu lihinachem. God is not Adam that could change. So the question is, Shaul says, I don't understand. Me, God chose me and he did change. Shaul was chosen by God.
Right.
But God then changed.
Right.
But then when you make David, you say you can't change.
Yeah, it makes no sense.
That doesn't make sense. You changed from me, but and then David, No, so he explains to him like this. Your kingdom came from Chachma. You were the wisest. You had the greatest Bina. You were the, like, Mishich Moyo Lamaila. He was like Shaul HaMelech. Shaul was like, wow. He was the best. From all the Jews, he was the highest level. So his kingdom came from Adam.
But he was still chosen by God.
But how God is in the level of Adam. That means how God put himself into this. And then he says, I'm choosing Shaul. But David comes from Keter, Lo Adam. Comes from a higher level. When I made you king, I'm from a lower level. That's from Adam.
It's through nature.
Through the system. You went against the system, you're out. David comes from above the system, Lo Adam. He comes from above Adam. So I can't change it.
Because the neshama came from Adam Rishon?
Why? By who? By Shaul?
David.
I understand, but the point here is, look what he says, Kiloi Adam hu lihinachem. Because he got from a level of Lo Adam. David's kingdom comes from Lo Adam.
And that's what Shmuel told him?
Yeah, in Shmuel, it's a
so
quote.
He told him that that's why he got so pissed they wanted to kill him.
1 second. Now what's funny is David HaMelech also did things that were not so exciting with Bathsheba.
Yeah, but David knew how to take the different.
I know, yeah, I agree. David. But I'm saying there were things that Hashem could have said to David.
Right.
You know, go with the system.
You know, and also he could, because of him, Uriah got killed. Well, I'm just saying. There could have been a reason. Yeah. But Hashem says, you know what? David doesn't come from a level of sense. It doesn't come from a level of understanding. It comes from a much higher level of Lo Adam, which is the crown. And I gave him that crown. And therefore, from David's family, it's never going to get cut off. And that's why it says, Ad Sof Kol Adorot, all the leaders is from David HaMelech. The Rambam is a grandson of David. He has the tree. The Baal Shem Tov, the Alter Rebbe. The Rebbe straight all the way from David HaMelech and from Shlomo. Because David Hashem says, I'm not going to regret this because it comes from Lo Adam. So lo Adam is not a chisaron. It's a higher level. It's above Adam. It's above Chachma. So whenever this is very important. You understand getting this concept?
How come they do this bad things?
Who?
David HaMelech, in the Mishlomo. How they go against the
I don't know. I mean, this is you have a good question. I don't know.
against God? What do you mean they go against God?
שלמה דוד המלך עשה עם בת שבע.
כן, כן, אוקיי.
כן, שלמה התחתן עם 1,000 נשים ועשה רע בעיני
But
השם.
what do you mean? So what's the question?
אבל שלמה didn't try to do, הוא חשב שהוא עושה טוב.
שהוא הולך עם 1,000 נשים?
At the end of the day,
לא אנשים,
כתוב, ויעש הרע בעיני השם.
בעיני השם. אבל הוא לא חשב שהוא עושה רע.
כולם לא חושבים, ראית פעם?
לא, יש הבדל.
אני יודע שאני עושה עבירה. הוא לא חשב שהוא עושה רע.
יש הבדל בין לעשות רע לבין, לא יודע. לא שזה מצדיק, כן? אי ידיעת החוק לא חשוב.
כל ההולך בתמים.
חבר'ה, עם ידע אתם לא יכולים להתווכח. אני לא יכול לדבר לכם.
למה רשום בתורה שלא יעשה לו נשים? הרבי שיין? Why is it in Torah don't do a lot of women? So it's not, you're not gonna... So
Oh, it says that a king should only have 18.
But why? He said why?
What's the joke?
But it says also why. So
Yeah, his head shouldn't
So it's
be.
going to be with God.
Yeah.
Shlomo said, I'll do a lot of women, I still not going to live.
Right, right.
So he didn't think he's doing something.
Oh, yeah,
he
of
tried
course,
to-
he tried.
שאנחנו לא יכולים.
And also, look, he wrote Shir Hashirim,
אתה תקבל
משלי.
Mishlei, Kehelet. I mean, come on, Shlomo Melech is like, no one can reach the wisdom of Shlomo Melech.
חכם באדם.
Not only that, he was the tzaddik. You know, when we say Shir Hashirim Erev Shabbat, it says all the angels are dancing. So his Shir Hashirim is not just, it's not like just like a deep poem. It's a holy poem. So we're learning here, Shir Hashirim, we're learning Keter, we're learning Chachma, we're learning Lo Adam, we're learning Adam. This is what Shlomo Melech was talking about. So you think if he has 1,000 wives, means he lost it? No. He was on such a high level that he can handle 1,000 wives. We're on such a low level, we can't even handle one. He's on such a high...
אני מדיום.
He's... okay. We're going to end this piece and we'll continue next week. But I just want to end off with a chotem. It's on the second column in 128. Iker hapartzuf ha'adam hu menachoitem ve'ilach lamata. Shelkach omru razal ein me'idin hapartzuf panim imachotem. You ever knew that when a dead person passes away and you don't recognize who he is? So what do? You don't know whose husband it is. You know, like sometimes you don't know if it was like a soldier. So it says you have to have witnesses to look on the partzuf and see if he could recognize the shape. And if he could recognize that it's a shape, so then he could testify that the person passed away and the wife could get married and everything. So the Gemara says, Ein me'idim ela partzuf panim im hachotem. You can't testify unless you have the whole thing with the chotem. That means if you only have this top,
No good.
no good. You need the whole, got it? This whole piece. Why? Ki min hachotem ulamata nimshach ha'or v'achayis v'chinis eschalkos ha'madeges v'eskalusan. From the chotem and the lower, that's where everything has. Why? Trei nikve achotem, the two holes of the nose. Trei einen, the two eyes. Trei unden, the two ears. Trei yoden, the two hands. Gufa, your body. Your 2 feet. And these are the vessels for the Adam. This is the 2 eyes. If you want to tell if someone is wise, look at their eyes. The wisdom of a person shines from their eyes. The Rebbe, if you look at the Rebbe, his eyes was everything. I don't know if you ever saw a video of the Rebbe. You ever saw the eyes is the whole thing.
Yes, blue eyes.
It says in Gemara, Einei ha'eda, because the whole chachma comes through the eyes. And that's why you have the right eye, which is kav yamin, the left eye, which is kav small, and the same thing, the two ears comes from bina. Your right hand is chesed, your left hand is gevura, and then your 2 feet, netzach and hod. So that's from here, look, from here is where we have your whole thing. You have chachma, bina, das, chesed, gevura, teferes, netzach, hod, everything is here. Oh, Valkain, that's why this also changes. Sometimes you chesed dominate, sometimes not, sometimes there's differences. When, you ever see a person gets like red or white, like he changes colors, that's all the panim, that's on the face. Shein echadem el chaverai. Shein came b'mitzcha. Here, turn to page 129. In your metzach. Metzach is this, right here. Your forehead. Lo yadamhu, that's above Adam, that comes to the crown. You got the idea? So that's basically an idea. We'll continue with Hashem next week, more on this concept. Page 129.